I forget who it was, but somebody asked me how to make E-40 style tracks, and it's one of the sounds I love about the Bay Area. Drew Down, E-40, Jay Stalin. Just the Bay Area sound is just the sound that I've always been wanting to create. I just didn't know what it was called. Okay, so we're at 91 BPM. Opening up Zenology. This is going to be your plugin of choice here. It just has all the Roland sounds. Once you subscribe to Roland Cloud. And let's do the strings first. So I'm going to do strings because... Okay, let's do that. Let's turn my mic off for a second. Okay, so a lot of the 90s sound came from swing. Let's turn up the swing parameter and the channel rack. Also, I'm going to hit probably Alt Q. Actually, that might take away the vibes. Some of the notes I didn't really target. I think this one's good. Okay, so I'll just clone these over. Let's hit Shift, pull these back. There has to be a very specific timing though with these notes. So notice I'm not quantizing though. Now what I'll do though is just cut the rest out and just repeat that first 4 bars. Let's get rid of that overlapping note here. Okay, so quantizing will kill the whole vibe. Now let's add the, let's go to the channel rack. Let's add the, where's it at? Fruity Drum Synth Live. This has the Roland TR-808 sounds in it and the Roland 909. Let's hit Control L, which is very common of a sound to use in this time period. Let's add this. So first let's start mapping out what are we creating. There's 4 layers. We have the top line, we have the harmony section, which is like our chords, contrast, which is like our bass and our counter melody, and then we have the rhythm. Now, Bay Area stuff is extremely contrast layer dominant, I've noticed. Meaning, the bass basically runs the entire track. So we'll call the strings the top line. We don't have a harmony just yet. So let's do the drums, the rhythm, and then we'll come back to the contrast layer. Let's add this pattern into the rhythm section where our drums would be. Let's open up the channel rack here, right click, go to piano roll. And now let's find our Roland TR-808 clap. 1, clap, 2, clap. Now back then they weren't doing they weren't doing 1,000 hi-hats all the time. So let's just slow down the hi-hats here. So it's just ta, 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 ta. I think there's a tambourine sample. I'm not sure. I might have to find one though. Okay, so we want to layer a tambourine sample. That was one of the kind of key sounds in the 90s, was that tambourine. I don't think we have one in the Roland kit. So we're going to have to find one. Hopefully I have some kind of tambourine. Let's type in tambourine. You guys look at the project files too, by the way, if you go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Okay, so I got to get rid of these Mac files here. Okay. So we want a very simple tambourine. These are like claps. Alright, there's a regular tambourine. Something like this. It's very simple. We don't want to go too crazy with the tambourine. And we're just going to add it at the downbeat. So it's like shake, 1, 3, 4, shake. So for those who know the melody, I'm referencing Dusted and Disgusted by E-40. Now to make it a little more humanized, let's highlight these hi-hats as if we're playing them on an MPC. Let's go to the wrench tool. Let's go to humanize, and let's just have the starting time offset up a little bit. That way they're not perfectly on the grid. You could also mess with the velocity here. But I forgot they already did the velocity. Okay, so now we got to find a kick. Chances are they're using an 808 kick. They're not using these. So it's kick, 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 kick. So we're not doing like da-doom, da-doom. We're not doing the we're not using the swing yet. The swing is more so on the difference between the landing. I just realized we had two things hitting at the same time. Okay, so now we got to copy the bass. Let's go here to our strings. Let's hit Control C. Let's open up Synology one more time. It just has really good bass. If you're in FL Studio, you want to use stock plugins, use Saw that has really good bass sounds, or Morphine, really good bass sounds. Let's use Synology here. Let's go to synth bass. I want to rank these by rating because I already went through the sounds. I recommend you guys to sit there, go through all the sounds, and mark 3-star all the good sounds. Let's find a new pattern here because we want to separate this stuff. Let's paste the string into the bass. Now you guys can hear the timing of the bass because there's no lead up, there's no attack. Let's hit Control down. Now this one you probably can quantize. Let's try to quantize only this bottom note here. Let's hit Alt Q. See how that timing is very important. So what I might do, it seems like all the notes are just offset by the same amount. So I'm going to hit Control, highlight multiple notes here, hit Control Shift, deselect the first note, and then just line up manually all the notes, hitting Alt, and then move these around. It's better the bass is a little delayed than early most of the time. Let's see if we can fit it into the pocket a little bit better. And let's go through some of these presets. Now we can change up the bass over time so that it doesn't just repeat the same exact thing. So let's copy that over. Let's make this unique so that we can create small changes, but we're going to keep the same top line string. Now the secret to the genre is the bass and the lead sounds that we're about to add. Let's just move the strings, even though it's not the top line, not the harmony section. We're going to move it to the harmony section because the top line we're going to add is the lead sound. Okay, so on pattern 4, let's do something different here. So we're just adding little notes here and there. I might turn off the swing because we already have a natural swing in the play style. So I'm gonna add all these like stuff on the in-betweens. So like don't. It's hard to hear this. Let's pull it up an octave. See how that dum da dum dum. I don't want that to happen. Let's go to the bass here. Let's go to the cog icon, turn the wrench tool on, and turn off the swing for that specific instrument. That way the channel rack swing doesn't affect this specific sound. So I just want to... So I'm just adding little in-between notes. Alright, let's tighten up some of these drums. I might quantize the hi-hats. I need something to be like this, the metronome to the beat. I think the hi-hats need to be quantized. Here we go. Also, let's group this section here, hit Control G, so now it's a new pattern. And let's just duplicate the hi-hats. It's a little more active. And when you play this stuff by hand, it's a lot more groovy, but I'm showing you guys how to do this without a MIDI controller. Now let's start adding the chord information. Here's where I'm going to create multiple top lines. So remember, the contrast layer is not always low frequencies. It could also be a counter melody. So the leads could be technically considered that as well. So let's add another contrast layer and another top line. So let's keep the strings as the top line. I might quantize these because I don't want the timing to be super off. So what I will do here is highlight all these notes, deselect that first note, and just try to line it up. Just hit Alt. So that way stuff feels more cohesive with the timing. Having everything just off the grid does not always sound good. Let's see if we can edit this bass just a little bit. I like that hi-hat switch. Sounds weird. Let's turn up the clap. The clap's a little quiet. I'm hitting Shift left click to create a linear clap velocity. See how the beat started to feel like it's coming together? And that's simply because of quantization and timing. Alright, let's add some more notes. Let's see what we have here. Now let's find a lead sound. Now the way the West Coast gets their leads to sound so good is because they use pitch bend, and that's what I'll show you guys how to do it even if you don't have a MIDI controller. First, let's just find a good lead. I think I might have saved some of the good ones here. No, I didn't save any leads, so we have to go through these until we find a good one here. What you guys can do is change your octave here, right click and just change your octave to like C5. That way you're playing higher notes. I'm just typing on my keyboard. It sounds exactly like the lead in the song, which is crazy. It's because it goes like. Alright, so we got lucky and found a synth that sounds very similar to the actual record. Now, in their version, they have the mod wheel going. I'll see if I can modulate this with automation. The ending is a little difficult, but let's try to do this. So the ending's a little difficult again to play really fast, but it goes. That was it. Okay. And then it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna just type this in. You guys just have to like look at my technique. We're using glissando here to create like an R&B vibe to slide the pitch up. Now in their version, they have like, it's a little vibrato. I don't know how to read the synth because it's not very easy to read. Let's see what the mod wheel controls. Most of the time the mod wheel controls vibrato. Let's go to the edit mode to see if we could track down where that information would even be. All right, so we have velocity, curvatures. Now guys, if this looks complex, it is. This is like not easy to read at all. Okay, so let's go. Yeah. So these are the effects at the bottom. These are the modulators here with the filter. I'm looking for like a mod matrix. Let's go to effects maybe. Nope. Okay, so let's go to basic. It doesn't say anything, it just says palette. So I'm just gonna assume the mod wheel controls the, you know, let's see. Okay, so to access the mod wheel, we click on the plugin, click the drop down in the top left, go to browse parameters. Mod wheel is CC number 1. So we're going to scroll down until we see MIDI CC number 1. Let's right click, create an automation clip. So if I'm right, if I turn this on as we play those notes, we should hear a vibrato sound. If I'm wrong, we'll figure out what it does. Yeah, you hear that wobble? Okay. So let's figure out where we want the actual vibrato to kick in. Let's change our snap to grid. Now I do want a slower vibrato, so I got to figure out where that information is inside the plugin. We'll figure that out. Let's add some more notes in here. Now their bass line was a little more active than ours. So now we got to figure out a way to add more energy in here. We could use more high frequency stuff, but let's add some percussion and maybe some chords in here just to like grab the ear. All right, so we're pushing Xenologies. Usually I don't have this many Xenologies open. We're still at 32 CPU, so it doesn't seem to go up, but it does eat up a lot of initial CPU. Let's try some E-pianos here. We could use, what else would they use? Maybe like a poly synth brass type sound. But we're gonna stick with the E-piano, which is like classic West Coast. Like that type of sound. Let's hit Control L, send that to the mixer. Let's figure out what chord would even go with this type of beat. And I will add this in here as automation. So let's figure out what kind of chords we can get. So I remember pitch bending chords where it goes like woo, woo, woo. So let's try to do it by ear first. And I'll guide you guys through the little minute steps. So let's figure out that tone first. So we're playing fifths here. A to E is a perfect fifth, 7 notes away. C to G is a perfect fifth, 7 notes away. We just have to figure out, are we going to play a chord underneath? Okay, so if so, we're just going to play simple triads. Really, this is a D minor add 9 chord, which is a chord I've shown you guys in other West Coast stuff. So that's really just one chord, just spread out. And I teach this stuff in my Music Theory Essentials course, by the way, as far as how to like know what I just showed you guys. Okay, so then we have FAC. So we're gonna do F major add 9. Okay, so that makes. Now let's add that West Coast vibe to it. Let's go to Xenology, go to the cog icon. Make sure your pitch range is at 2 semitones. Right click, create an automation clip. I used to think the West Coast producers like would play a chord and then pitch bend into the chord, but I was wrong. I saw my guy Mars do this. He basically has his pitch wheel down first, which is usually a 2 semitone difference. And as he plays the chord, he'll then release the pitch wheel back to normal. So that's how they get that pitch bending sound. They start down first and then it goes up. It does not start in the middle and then go up. So for those who understand what I'm saying. So now we can create a pitch bend here. Let's change this to maybe a half beat. It's kind of hard to hear, so let's pull it up an octave. You could do more than a 2 semitone jump, but my ear tends to think that 2 semitones is the West Coast sound. The whole step. So it goes boing like that. And then we need to add vibrato to this to make it sound more lively. Also, let's hit Alt. Let's do a couple things. Humanize this with the tools. Let's go to Humanize. Remove any overlaps. You have to download that from the Image Line forums, that piano roll script, and then cut the excess overlap in the bar. And then we have to hit Alt X to just turn the velocities down. Okay, so now we need to find the vibrato here. Let's go to our Xenology. Let's go to top left. Let's go to Browse Parameter. Scroll down until you see MIDI CC number 1. I assume that this is linked to a vibrato knob. If not, we'll just deal with it. Right click, create an automation clip. Okay, so now I'm going to right click. Do the same thing we did with the lead up top. Just right click. So it's not a vibrato, it's a tremolo effect, but it still sounds cool. So the drums feel a little stiff. We could probably let's fix these drums. The drums feel very stiff. I think it's because that kick and the bass aren't matching up. So let's find a way to, so it goes boom, da-dum. Let's figure out what pattern that is. All right, so let's make this more swing. Now the reference, I don't remember the kicks being. But when in doubt, just copy the bass timing. All right, let's start adding a soft clipper. Now these Xenologies are pulling on my like visual GPU. I can feel it. I don't know what it is about the plugins, but they're slowing down the screen. Just keep that in mind if you guys are on PC. It will add like a weird lag to your screen. So now I'm pushing the drums so I could hear more energy out of the drums. So without adding anything, it feels more full simply because the drums are louder and we're getting more harmonics. So again, I know their bass in the original song is like different. but I don't remember the notes on the bass because it's not like memorable like that. But I do know their bass does move way faster at certain points. So I'm just gonna add a couple of notes here. Darn, I didn't, this is my PC. I don't think I have my sound kit from the West Coast on here, but let's see if I can find. Dang, I don't even have my Battle Cat stuff on this computer. So now I'm gonna add like ear candy stuff to grab the ear. It'd be cool if I had like metallic percussion. I don't think I have my drum kit on here. All right, there's a lot going on, so we gotta decide what, you know, there's too much trying to take over there. Also too, on the fruity drum synth, let's figure out where that kick is. I'm gonna do one thing here. Let's increase the decay of the kick. So we're at what, G2? Okay, so G2, we gotta find that in this screen here. I don't know what this does. Let's, how do you go to G2? Okay, G2, here we go. Here we can alter the actual drum. I just want it to have a longer decay curvature. So it's more of like an 808. Whoa. So it eats up a little more space. I remember their drums were faster though. Let's see if we could add some more hi-hats in here. Let's see if we can find another lead synth. This beat just needs a little more swing in the kicks. The kicks are very stiff. Also too, the strings need a little more. I think it's the bass, that's what it is. The bass, I forgot we took the bass off of the swing. It needs more like computerized swing added. Let's turn that back on actually. There we go. So that's where that danceability comes from, is that swing parameter. There we go. And now you guys can hear the swing. Let's find a different lead sound here. Let's Alt S this a little bit. It just makes the performance a little more human. Let's try out different E pianos. Yeah, this one sounds cooler. I'm also gonna mess with the pitch bend here. Let's see if we get, yeah, never mind. It was good the way it was. I was trying to see if we could use a different timing. Let's do one thing with that pitch bend. I want to see if a stronger range will work, because it feels like the range isn't 2 semitones. I don't have time to go into it, but some plugins set the max range inside of the plugin itself, and then FL Studio, you're gonna have to use the octave to represent the max range of the plugin. So to access that information, again, I don't know where that is in this plugin as far as the pitch range output. I don't even know where to begin to look for that. For that reason, I'm looking around, I don't see it. Okay, so it's not that important. What I'll do though is just I'll manually change this range, and then my screen is so glitchy. So as you guys can, you could hear it more. So sometimes 2 isn't necessarily 2 semitones. So that's exactly what happened here. So I'm going to set the range to 12, create another, pitch range, because you can't change the pitch range basically post. Okay, so let's add this. So now you're going to hear more of a pitch bend. So make sure we get it to sound natural. Let's change this to 1/4 beat. Something's dragging my screen down. I think it's, man, Synology is a weird GPU issue. Okay. Same with Chord, so it's not just rolling. It's kind of hard to like give this human timing. Sounds more natural. So a curve like this actually sounds way more natural than how I had it before, which means I'm going to go back and fix the other pitch curve that we've created. I might delay the hi-hats a little bit. Let's go to pattern 3. Let's delay these hi-hats a little bit. Let's highlight them, hit Control, highlight the hi-hats, hit Alt-Right. Just to delay them off the grid a little bit. We could also do the same thing with the kicks. It's not the same effect though, because of the swing parameter. Kind of like that groove better. Now for these chords, I don't know if they re-trigger the chords. I'm using rough memory, so let's hit Shift. Let's see if that sounds cool. Let's cut it here. So we're re-triggering the chord. Never mind, I don't think that adds anything. I was checking. Alright, let's take some of these notes out. So the bass line is just the hardest part to really sound like, I'm going off of rough memory here. So let's go back to the pitch range of, what was this sound here? These first, oh wait, this is, I think that's the same instrument. Okay, so let's copy this over. Never mind, we don't have to redo anything. You guys will get the project files. All right, so we got to figure out why the bass doesn't sound like it's fitting in here. I think it might be a quantize issue. It could be just sound design. So let me go to the bass and figure out why it's not fitting in. Yeah, it's just a sound issue. That bass sounds way doper. the swing parameter up just a little bit more. Gonna quantize the hi-hats so they have more swing on them. We never found that lead. Let's see if we can find this lead here. Also, it'd be cool to have portamento. Let's see what portamento sounds like. Oh, here's the vibrato right here. Didn't notice that. Let's add a little analog feel to it so it like pitch bends. Alright, so it's a little bit easier than I thought. So if you click on the edit tab, it has pre-made effects. I didn't notice that it was there. I feel like we can push the drums harder. There we go. Alright, so as you guys can see, we're pulling it together. Find a new lead sound here. Money to beat that nigga. Yeah, I used to love, well not used to, I still listen to the Bay Area stuff even till today. But you shoot it sure. Now let's try to go through some sounds here. So there's no like sound I'm going for, it's just what sounds good with this beat. Probably something more sine wave triangle based. Oh, this is dope. So I'm just gonna freestyle with my typing keyboard, no rhyme or reason here. This sounds like a talk box to me. Baby, baby. Alright, so I'm just gonna use my ears here. I'm just gonna turn my mic off and just edit some notes. right, so it's a little, let's turn it down. So I like, the sound. I just want to go through different sounds to see if we find a better vibe. Alright, let's start all the way from the beginning and let's see where we could add stuff. If you guys want to be super authentic, you could load up this plugin called Neural Amp Modeler. Now this works on mono stuff, but you guys can download the plugin called Genome for stereo stuff. I'm just going to use the mono stuff here to save on CPU. And let's turn this off. And now we need to select a, it's called a model. You have to download these off the internet. These are not free. I bought mine from Past to Future Reverbs. There's also a great company called Analog XAI. They make really good things. Okay, so these are called profiles. We're gonna run ours through an Akai MPC. So now the drums are gonna feel like they're going through an MPC and have the crunch. Let's get the levels right. So at the end, I want to change up this chord. Let's see if we do better with the diminished chord here. Let's try a diminished seventh chord. Shout out to B Sticks for showing me a better way to use diminished seventh. Let's do the same root note, but just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then let's do 1, 2, 3. Let's have that G be the top note. So now it has more of a diminished sound to it. So I just need some West Coast percussion. I just don't have any on my hard drive, I don't think. So instead of neural amp modular, it pulls everything mono. We want a stereo for this because our drums are stereo. So in that case, I'm just going to turn that off. But that's a plugin you guys can mess with. There's also there's also stereo ones like Genome. Let's just try to get the drums to hit through a soft clipper. Also too, there's a kilohertz bit crush to emulate like the MPC 60. We're gonna right click, type in 40K, 1, 2, 3, Bit rate, we're going to put at 12, and then turn the quality all the way up. And this will lower the sample rate. Let's play this one more time. All right, you guys will get the project files for free. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio if you want to learn how to make beats like the pros. You want to learn how to make melodies so fast, the chords. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. But if you want the project files for free, go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. All right, guys, subscribe if you're new. Peace.